In this video, we're going to talk about multitabling, specifically what it is, the pros and the cons of multitabling, and some strategies for you as my students regarding multitabling. So it's nothing more than the art and the skill of playing multiple tables of poker at once. What you see here on the screen, this is a screenshot of one of our coaches, Paul Regan, playing 4 tables of 30NL on Sky Poker. And it's common for professional poker players like Paul to multi-table rather than to play one table. And we'll talk about why that is on the next screen. In fact, some of the pros will play more than 16 tables at once, which is definitely not something that I can do, but some of these players can actually do this. So let's talk about the pros and the cons. So why do pros play more than one table? So what's the benefit? Well, the benefits are that they play more hands per an hour, and when they play more hands per an hour, it's going to increase their hourly win rate. So the amount of money that they can win per an hour is going to jump up. Now, it's not going to increase the big blind per 100 win rate, but because they're playing more hands, the amount of money that they can win per an hour increases as well. And a lot of players are going to be playing for bonuses and rakeback benefits as well, so that's an added benefit. In addition to all that, a lot of people like to play multiple tables at once is because it decreases the boredom. I have a lot of students that say, Alton, I'm playing one table, but it's just so boring. It's so slow. So they want to play more table than once. And potentially for some of my students, it's going to allow you to learn poker faster. For some of you, it's going to cause you to struggle. But for some of you, it's going to increase how quickly you learn versus if you only played one table. So those are the benefits to multitabling. Now, what are the negatives to it? Well, of course, the first one is, since you're going to play more tables, you're probably going to need a bigger bankroll, right? Especially if you're playing 16 tables, a 20 buy-in bankroll probably isn't going to suffice. So you're going to want to bump up your bankroll requirements based upon how many tables you're going to be playing at once. Now, another negative are these two, they go hand in hand, is that you're going to have more simultaneous decisions. So if you're playing 4 tables, you may have to make a decision on a hand on all 4 tables at the exact same time. And what this causes, it causes an inability to focus on a particular hand, and people end up making inadequate decisions, subpar decisions that we would potentially be a minus expected value play. And so this is a big negative for a lot of students. And I've had students that come to me and tell me that they struggle with multitabling because they simply just don't have enough time to make a decision, but they are bored when they play a single table. And you know what I tell them? I tell them, well, you know what? You need to just play one table and focus on that table, and even focus on the hands, even when you're not playing them. Watch what your opponents are doing, take notes, and look to improve your game by being active even when you're not in a hand. Now, there is one more negative to it, in that this potentially can increase your short-term variance. Because you're playing a lot more hands at once, then the short-term variance may increase, right? Let's say that we're playing 16 tables, we get aces on 4 of them at the same time, and we get a negative outcome on those based upon how we play the hand. Maybe we play poorly, or let's say that based upon how we should have won the hand, our opponent ended up getting lucky, so variance could have played a role that way as well. So that's the pros and the cons. Now let's talk about some strategies for multitabling. First off, if you're new to the game, or if you're a struggling poker player, please don't multi-table. I implore you to not multi-table right off the bat, especially if you've been playing for quite some time and you are multi-tabling and you're struggling and you're a losing poker player. I would rather you play a single table, focus on improving your game, and then once you improve your game at the end of this course, then start to look to multi-table. And same thing for a new player. Don't multi-table, because I want you to focus on just playing one table and playing one table very well. But when you're ready to start multi-tabling, start with 2 tables. Don't start with 3 tables. Don't start with 4 tables. Just start with 2 and see how well you do. And if you're comfortable with the game and you're making good decisions, well, then maybe add on a 3rd table. But if you're uncomfortable with the game at 2 tables, then don't do table. Just play a single table at once. Don't multi-table. So the whole goal behind this, when we start adding on more tables, we start with 2 tables and potentially go to 3, is when we're playing multiple tables, is to be able to make decisions where they're second nature and you're not struggling to make those decisions and you're comfortable with playing multiple tables. So if you're able to make a very good decision in 15 seconds, or 10 seconds or 5 seconds, then that's great. Then you can add on additional tables over time. But if you're struggling, then don't multi-table, jump down, right? If you are playing 4 tables right now and you're struggling, jump down to 3 tables. If you're still struggling, jump down to 2. And if you're still struggling, then just jump down to 1. And also remember that your bankroll should support your multi-tabling efforts. So if you're going to be adding on more tables, take a look at your bankroll and determine if that's going to be sufficient or not, because I don't want your risk of room to increase greatly. Of course, it's going to increase when we start to multi-table, but if we're starting with a 15 buy-in bankroll or a 20 buy-in bankroll and we're playing 1 table and we're noticing that it's helping our risk of ruin, but we're still losing, if we start adding on more tables and we play 4 tables, then we probably want to bump that up a little bit. So that's going to conclude our discussion on multi-tabling. If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.